Right, you lot, seeing you keep going on about alterations, I had some come in today, and I thought instead of just doing them as quickly as I can to earn as much money as I can, why not make some long drawn out videos so that everyone else knows how to do it too? Then maybe they won't come to me to have it done, because I really love alterations. So this is a pair of jeans that I'm going to shorten. I'm not keeping the original hem because they didn't ask me to. They obviously don't care. It doesn't really make much difference either way, but if there's a lot coming off, like there is this one, then it makes things a lot easier because I don't have to do any unpicking, so that's nice. I also have this whole new get-up going on thanks to the old folks. They have provided me with a stand and a light as an early birthday present, which makes me very happy, and I'm sure it makes you very happy too. Yes, just say yes. So anyway, here we go. Shortening a pair of trousers. Now the first thing you need to do before you shorten a pair of trousers, as I've discovered many times nowadays, when you buy a pair of trousers, it's potluck as to whether or not the lengths of the legs are the same size. Many times they're not, and many times I've been lazy. There's that word again. And I haven't checked before I've shortened them, and of course always the one that I pinned would have been the longest one, so that then the other leg, which was the shortest one, would then be too short, and I've had to re-alter them to make them longer. So now I always check. I say always, most of the time. So I need to first of all make sure I put my pin marks in to mark where the end of the hem is going to be. This is just my way of doing it, by the way. Again, there are many ways, and this is just the way that I do it. Other people do it other ways, and that's absolutely fine. And there are the people that do the tips and tricks to do it an easy way, and that's also fine. I can't do that because people would just bring the stuff back to me and go, "What is this rubbish?" Not this rubbish, I'm not being mean to anyone. Anyway, I'm just going to get on before I dig a deeper hole. So I'm going to measure the inside leg of this one leg. From the inside seam, I can't go all the way up there because my camera's not big enough. Can I just like, look there, inside seam. Okay. See how easy that was with my new get-up? So this one is 30.5-inch inside leg. Let's see what the other one is. Is it going to be the same? The suspense is killing me. You too, I expect. And we have... Let's move this along so you guys can see. Was the other one 30.5 inches? This one is 31.5. Did I get the other one wrong? Was the other one 31.5 as well? Because it can't be a whole inch out. That would be crazy. Well, it wouldn't be crazy, it's happened. Yep, it's a whole inch out. But, you know, if I had just shortened these, at least I know that I would have been okay. What was this one? This was the shorter one. So yes, the other one just would have been too long if I'd just taken the same amount of both of them. But normally, if I hadn't measured him, I would have measured the longer one, making the short one too short, if that makes sense. So now, just quickly do a quick measure again. Basically, we want them to be 27.5 inches long. Okay, that's where the mark is, that's where she wants it to go. So now I'm going to put another pin on the other pair. I can't believe it's an inch out. I can. I don't know why I'm so surprised. So for those of you who buy trousers and go, "Oh gosh, I've got one leg longer than the other," you probably haven't. I mean, there are people that do, but you may not. It could just be trousers. We're all walking around thinking we've got one leg longer than the other. 27.5. There we go. So now I know how much to take off. And if you look, 27.5, 27.5. This is what I'm up against. Honestly, people, this is what I'm up against. Shoddily made trousers. Okay, so get that leg out of the way. Focus on this one first. So, this is going to be the place where we are going to be, get that more central, folding it. Put some marks there. That's my little trick, by the way, is to put a pin in and then mark it. Otherwise you just end up with this splodge. And you know, you can get those tools that go out with the wheel on the end, but I do actually have one. I never can be bothered to fill it up with chalk. So that one is 3 inches shorter. So put another one there. 3 inches. So that's going to be the folding. So now we need to work out how big our hem's going to be. Obviously every pair of trousers, jeans, whatever it is, it could be a pair of chinos, the hem will be a different size. This one is just over ½ inch. So then if we double that up, we go to 1 1/4 inches. So we need to cut 1 1/4 inches. Again, I'll do the pin thing because I haven't got a very sharp chalk, so I'm just going to do this. 1 1/4 inches. Don't ask me what that is in centimetres. Look it up. Right. That. So we don't cut on this line because otherwise you're just going to have a raw edge, which weirdly I actually got a pair of trousers today where I have to do that, but that's not these ones, so I can't do that here. This is going to be your cutting line here. So we need to make sure these two edges here match up. God, it wouldn't be annoying if I stopped recording. I'm just doing all this for nothing. Not nothing, I still get paid. And I'm just going to put a pin here so it stays. See, sometimes if the jeans aren't or trousers aren't too thick and you know that they're the same length and exactly the same amount's coming off the bottom, then you could just mark everything in one leg and then put the other leg underneath, pin them together so they stay in the right place and kind of hold them into place. You can cut through both legs, but when it's quite thick you don't want to, and obviously when the legs are different lengths you don't want to either, as I've discovered before. I also have, or people that may have worked for me have, accidentally cut along this line here, and well, that's where you put false hems on. Right, here we go. So, by the way, I sharpened my scissors myself, so probably not very well, but see. I think they're better than they were, but I don't like using my best scissors for these. My Japanese ones. My Japanese friend would be very proud of me. Right, so there you are. And now I need to put the iron on, although I'll cut the other one first, just so you can see. We will, if I put a pin all the way through, make sure the levels at the ends meet. And then, when we turn it over, we can, if I can find the chalk, put more marks here. And that will be our, actually not very well, there will be our folding lines. So, you can go back in there a bit more. Take those out. Do the other one. And pins. I hate you So this one's been shortened by no centimetres for you. 4 centimetres, which obviously makes sense because it was a centimetre longer. Thank God that worked out. So 4 centimetres. I know you lot like your alterations, so if you think of something specific that you want, just tell me. And even if I don't get given it, maybe I can find one of my own pieces of old clothing that I can pretend to alter for you. Or go to a charity shop. Okay. 4, 4, 4. Don't know why I went over that so many times. So now again, do you remember it was 1 1/4 inches? Do you remember that? I'm surprised I do. Okay. 1 1/4. 1 1/4. Oh, so I can't tell you how happy I am about my new stand. It's very exciting. Very exciting. For me. So we have our cutting line here. And so now we cut. It's so weird when you do this and you shorten a pair of trousers and this is what happens and you're like, that can't be right. I've literally just cut one inch shorter than the other. I did check it and it's crazy. What would be worse is if they went to pick them up now and they were like, what? Why is one leg shorter than the other? Oh, I don't know. My worst nightmare. Right. So now, mark the other side. So we have our fold line. Then I need to go and get the iron. And that reminds me, my brother's called Aaron, and he's in a band called Make Mine a Double. Just him and his mate going around bars and events and stuff. Anyway, his name's Aaron, and just reminds me of that scene where the guy's like, Aaron, and now everyone calls him Aaron. So when I say iron, just reminds me of that. I don't know why. Anyway, I do need to get the iron. I'm going to turn it off while I do that. Okay, so during that break, I had some soup, wrote a book, and ran a marathon. Basically, my camera died. I had to charge it, and it seemed to be taking 1.5 million years to do so. So I had all the time in the world to do all of those 3 things. At least one of those things happened, and spoiler alert, it was not the marathon. Anyway, so now I'm going to show you how to do the hem. So we're going to fold the first line. There's only one line. Fold the hem in along that line that we already created and press it. Come on, you can do it. Yes. Got there in the end. Do you need more water? No, you're fine. You are hydrated. Okay, while that one's kind of cooling down and setting, I normally then go and fold the first line of the other hem. I don't know what's going on with my iron, it's been weird. I need more water. Which also reminds me, in terms of ironing, when you're going to do something like this, you probably want to test the iron heat on whatever it is you're using for the fabric to make sure it's not going to melt it or stick to it, you know, in an inconspicuous area. Yeah, just to make sure that you just don't go and then there's a big iron print. It's okay when it's your pair of trousers, but when it's somebody else's, it's not so great. Right, back to the first one. Open it up. And, oh my god, I managed to knock the new thing. Then we're going to fold in the outside edge to the fold we just created. That makes sense. So folding half of it in, basically. I normally do like the bottom edge, or the bottom side of the jeans first, because I can see that. And just sort of work my way around. That way you know it's all the same all the way around, rather than just guessing the top. Okay, and then once that's done, you just fold both edges in. And then give it a press so it all stays in place where it's supposed to be. And twist that. It doesn't matter if you can kind of see it on this side, because we're going to be stitching it from the top, and actually it's useful to be able to see the line of where the hem finishes on the inside. The reason we stitch it from the top is because it's a neater stitch. And if I stitch it from the inside, the messy stitch is on the outside. Right, I should do it to the other side, and then we will go and stitch it all up, but you don't need to see this one, so I'm going to stop the video and begin again at the sewing machine. Okay, so we are now at the sewing machine, and I've put thick black thread, top stitching thread, on the machine. I'm using a needle, a big needle. You can use probably, if you're using a domestic, I mean it depends how good your domestic is, but you can get denim needles for jeans, just like a big needle. This one's 110 nm, size 18. I don't actually know what nm means. Nautical miles, maybe? It's probably not what it is. And also, for a thicker thread, I have to turn my tension up quite a bit. Otherwise the thread at the top is too loose, and then you get the loose stitches underneath. So when I start, I have to listen for that crunching noise, and if there's no crunching noise, it means it's not quite tight enough yet. And I'm managing to wobble this because it's right next to my arm. Right, so here we go. What I tend to do when I start is I find the inside leg seam, which is this one, and then I'll work from the back so that you get your back stitches at the back of the jeans, and that is the front, so the back is on this side. So we have to go over this big bump right at the beginning. I generally go really slowly, or I have to hand kind of crank it as I go over. Sometimes it's okay, others it's not. Also depends on your needle. If you've got quite a thin needle, then you'll definitely have to go super slow. Otherwise you end up with a broken needle, or, as it happened in my case, not by me, a broken machine. Here we go. And stitch length is kind of regular, probably more on the larger side for a hem stitch. Now on this, you'll need a bit of help pulling through, so you just kind of pull from the back and go slowly. So you can feel where the edges of the seam, the hem underneath. You just kind of like have to feel it. See, I think mine needs to go a bit tighter. I can't hear that crunching noise. Let's have a look. Yep, it's okay. The stitches, the person that's doing the stitching. So this just takes lots of practice, making sure you're catching it. And sometimes I still miss it. I don't miss the stitching. I don't miss alterations. I never will. Nobody does. Unless they got paid £5,000 an alteration. In that case, I might miss that. If you are not confident doing it this way, then do it from the back. It's absolutely fine. I just have to do it like this because people pay for my work. That's actually quite tight. I think something's going on in the bobbin. See, if it's going wrong on the top, there's something going wrong underneath. I feel like the bobbin's gone a bit funny. God damn. Right, let's just finish this off and have a look. Oh, the bobbin looks fine. Strange. Maybe I just need to release the tension at the top a little bit. That might help. Tiny bit. Anyway, that's that. I don't know if you can see it. And then the inside. And that's it done. And then you just kind of press it to make it, you know, nice. If it's a stretchy material, it would be all like fluted a little bit. Then you'd have to go over and press it a million times to try and steam it back into place again. But thankfully these are not stretchy ones, so anyway, there you go. And then you just do that on the other one and you are done. Okay, on to the next one.